with Shashank from EQMatch. I hope I said that correctly. I feel really bad if I didn't. But let's welcome in Shashank from EQMatch with a round of applause for his presentation.
My name is Shashank, and I represent EQMatch. There has been a dynamic change in the work environment globally. And because of this, there's a changing workforce. In 2020, millennials represented 35% of the global workforce. With COVID-19, there has been a higher demand for work from home employees. Work from home saves US businesses $30 billion every single day. There has been a massive voluntary resignation, or what we call big quit. Last year in 2021, 4.5 million people quit their jobs. This was the record highest. In Florida alone, 279,000 people quit their jobs, which was at a rate slightly higher than the US average. And the resignations were highest in the tech and the healthcare industries. What's causing the great resignation? Is it a poor hiring strategy? Is it poor culture? Toxic workplace culture, employee burnout, lack of professional development, or lack of alignment with professional goals and vision of the company. On average, a job position gets 250 job applications. It's a big challenge for human resources to shortlist the right candidates. And it takes on average 43 days for a job position to be filled out. Retaining employees and improving productivity levels are the two biggest challenges of human resources today. US businesses lose $11 billion every year due to employee turnover. And it costs $550 billion each year to US businesses due to disengaged employees. What is the way out of this global workplace challenge? Emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence can save 75% of careers from being derailed due to lack of emotional competencies, including the inability to handle interpersonal problems, unsatisfactory team leadership during times of difficulty or conflict, or the inability to adapt to change or elicit trust. But is it realistic? What does an organization with emotional intelligence look like? Let's talk some numbers. Southwest Airlines is a leading example of an organization that has led with emotional intelligence. Some numbers are like 4% voluntary turnover. 85% of employees says they are really proud to work with Southwest. No layoffs, no furloughs ever at Southwest. Talking about Motorola manufacturing, 93% of employees became more productive after adopting a stress reduction and an emotional intelligence program. A large metropolitan hospital reduced the critical care nursing turnover from 65 to just 15% in just 18 months of implementing an emotional intelligence screening assessment. With emotional intelligence, when employees feel valued, when they feel understood, they're more likely to be engaged because they know their contributions are making a difference to the company and the company has the best interests at their heart and mind. Emotional intelligence managers know when to use video chat and when to use traditional digital communication. These things can help bring employees together around a common purpose. Transition to remote work is amazing, but it has come with several challenges. According to a Slack survey of remote workers, 50% of them said that the sense of belonging suffers when they're working at home. Emotional support is really easy when people are working close to each other in a physical location. Change this to a remote work, and it's much more difficult to recognize when people need assistance. This is why managers and other employees should be proactive during the pandemic and use the full extent of their emotional intelligence. A team stays together due to socially and emotionally intelligent conversations. You bring in purely transactional conversation, and the glue that holds the team together starts falling apart. EQMatch enables organizations to identify highly emotionally intelligent candidates. We envision a workplace where people are more productive, they are happy, and this goes both for the employers and the employees. Our science-backed solution addresses the entire human resource life cycle, from recruiting to onboarding to team building. After all, we are humans before employees. Thank you very much.
Excellent job. Thank you for that. That was really interesting. Let's give him a round of applause there. That was fantastic. Love that presentation with the video. So we always like to ask as a first question, what can the community do to help support EQMatch?
So there are a couple of things that we are looking around this center, because you guys are in this domain for a long, long time, so you understand the business area. Being a startup, we are a bootstrapped startup. We started in 2019. It's been 2 years. We have worked really hard to develop this solution. We have a team of 4 people, including Andre, who's the co-founder, and 2 PhDs in organizational and industrial psychology. What we are looking at is, one, to spread the word so that we can get the clients. Right now, we do not have any clients. We are looking for the first clients to get our foot in the door. Any kind of networking would help in this regard, since you guys know some businesses who might benefit from emotional intelligence. And based on our research, I think every organization has a value, has a place for emotional intelligence to benefit from. That's the first thing. The second thing is we also raising funds for venture capital or angel investment. The purpose of the funds is to hire more employees, to expand the organization, and to build the workplace, the beautiful workplace around the US that we have envisioned. So those are the 2 areas, Andy and guys, that we are looking for at EQMatch today.
Well, thank you for that. Those are 2 good asks of the community. Daisy, I see that your hand is up, but I think it might be from earlier when I was asking for anybody that was new, but if you have a question, you're up first. If it was just from earlier, you could lower your hand and I'll move on to Miranda, but I wanted to give you a chance if you did have a question. Okay, she lowered her hand. Miranda, you're up next.
Good morning. Thank you, Shah. If you could put your contact information in the chat. I didn't see a slide that showed that, so I could write it down. That would be great. Good presentation. I'm very intrigued. I love the emotional intelligence movement. A lot of your slides were doing the DE&I, the diversity, equity, inclusion as well. That was awesome. You're hitting all of those points. For a presentation looking for clients, I think that you would want to focus more of that presentation on who are the connections you're looking for. I'm assuming HR managers, directors, that kind of people that are going to be doing that hiring, or if a institution's large enough, you know, their recruiting area. But if you could just give us a few minutes about that to confirm or correct my assumptions, that would be awesome.
Thank you, Miranda, for chiming in. Our target audience is the decision makers in the human resource domain. And as you rightfully said, these are CPOs or chief people officers, human resource managers, human resource directors, VP of human resources. So all those titles who make decisions about purchasing human resource related software, including assessments or ATS, those are the people that we want to talk to. And those are the people who are going to understand the value of emotional intelligence assessment, both from a hiring perspective and also from an ROI perspective. Just to add in about the contacts, we wanted this video to just present about emotional intelligence instead of just trying to put more sales stuff in it. So we have a separate pitch deck that talks about specifically numbers. Happy to share that with you guys if you want. About the contact information, would love to share our information with you. Please let us know how do we do that. And either I can share that with Lynn or David. And for right now here, our website is called EQMatch.co. It's not a com, it's a CO. So feel free to take a look at that. My name is Shashank. Andre is our co-founder. We both started this in 2019. Our details are also given on the website. Other than that, I think at 1 million cups, we have registered EQMatch, so the contact details are also mentioned there. If you guys need separately, we'd be happy to provide that as well.
Thank you.
All right. Shane, you're up next.
Excellent. Hey, Sean, great job. Love the product. Presentation was great. And you just mentioned that you have another more numbers based.
That's true.
Maybe something in the middle as well. You spent a lot of time on this one talking about the problem with numbers.
Yeah.
Numbers are great, but a little bit more of how the product is actually working and implemented. It led to Miranda's question.
Okay.
Would this be done on a subscription basis or a per application, or how do you see that?
May I get your name, please?
Shane, Dr.
Shane?
Shane Smith, Jim Miranda's.
Okay, Dr. Shane, right?
Shane.
Okay. Well, Shane, that's a great question. We are a subscription as a service. We have two pricing models. One is people can register it for the annual basis when they save almost 30%, and the other it's a month-to-month. The product works pretty simply. We have a robust backend software and an emotional intelligence framework. So the simplest way to put it is, let's say you are a human resource manager, you have a job out there, and you have 250 applications. Let's say 200 applications. What you're going to do is, there are two options here. Either you can put all those emails into our solution, and with one click of a button, you can either schedule assessment to go to those 200 or 250 applications, or you can just hit the button and send them right away. Once these people start taking the assessment test, your dashboard is going to be populated with the assessment results, and the results you can then categorize and sort by 4 different areas. We have identified 4 different areas of EI or EQ: managing your emotions, managing others' emotions, and so on and so forth. And you can categorize those that, let's say you want a person who is really high in managing others' emotions, like a team leader. You can categorize and see those scores based on that parameter. So that's our solution. You can also import the candidates directly from an Excel sheet into this. And we are also working with integrating with leading ATS. So that's how our business model and the product itself works.
Excellent. Thank you for doing that.
It's a pleasure, Shane.
Jamel, you're up next.
Hi, I just wanted to say this was an excellent presentation. Very, very good. The first thing I thought of was this Society for Human Resources Management. I'm assuming that you're already connected with them and HR Tampa for networking.
Yes, we are. I couldn't get the name. Is that Jamel? Okay.
Correct. Yes.
Yes, so we are connected with SHRM now. We do not have contacts there at shrm.org, if that's what you're talking about, but we are very familiar with the organization, including SHRM and HR.com.
Okay, definitely connect with HR Tampa in Tampa. That's the organization in Tampa for networking.
HR Tampa?
Yes.
Okay. Andrew, you got it, right? Thank you, Janelle.
Thanks, Jamel. Paula, you're up next.
Everyone this morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you perfectly.
Hi. My question, it was a great presentation. You did an amazing job, and emotional intelligence is very important in all aspects of industries today. I wanted to find out about your hiring. You said you guys are looking to hire some folks. So how are you getting that word out? And how can we be assistance to help with that? And then the other part of your emotional intelligence, I heard global and some things, but I didn't hear anything if you were doing anything around practice of mindfulness, because we do know that, self-awareness of where you are, mindfulness is a huge component. So I just wanted to, maybe give you my information and maybe we could chat, because I might know some people who might want to work within your organization or your company. So thank you for your presentation. And this is my second time here. I was invited by Pamela McCoy.
All right.
Oh, nice. Pamela's a rock star. She came through one of our HCC veterans programs, and she's just killing it. We're so proud of Pam. Welcome again, Paula. Yolanda, look at Yolanda, first time 1 million cups attendee, raising her hand for a question. You're up next, Yolanda.
Do you want to respond to that, Sheldon? Right?
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. Andy, let me just respond to Paula, and then we can move to Yolanda. Is that okay?
Yes, of course it's okay.
Awesome. Paula, great question about mindfulness. Let me address the first question about hiring. So as of now, we are a team of 5 people. Andrew and I are the co-founders taking care of technology, overall business strategy. We have a person in marketing. We have 2 people who are behind the framework of emotional intelligence. Those are PhDs in organizational and industrial psychology. What we are looking to hire in terms of the department is sales itself. We need someone who has experience in enterprise sales, primarily in the SaaS and or subscription as a service in the human resources space. So that's one area we think that we would greatly benefit from. Since we are bootstrapped, we have a specific business model right now to pass on the savings to the customers. So once we get the fund, we can hire full-time and pay salaries employees as now. Right now, we are fully invested ourselves in this. So that's where we're looking for. The second thing is mindfulness. Great question. So one of the frameworks that we are really passionate about with emotional intelligence is self-awareness and empathy. And I think I covered a little bit, but let me touch upon that. So, mindfulness or self-awareness. What we have seen is that when people understand how others feel, which is a part of our solution, managing and understanding emotions of other people, that addresses the mindfulness aspect. People can understand how to behave or how to talk or how to understand someone's emotions when they're not necessarily in the best state of mind. And as human beings, when we go to work, we don't just go to work in isolation. We bring issues from our family, we bring issues from our friends and whatnot. So we do not work in isolation or segregation. These are not buckets of emotions. As a human being, we are very prone to having those emotions together. So with mindfulness and empathy or self-awareness as part of a solution that we use assessment model to use those parameters, I think emotional intelligence with EQMatch can help with mindfulness and self-awareness. And it's already a part of our framework and assessment model. Hope that answers your question, Paula.
All right, thanks for that, Shah. Was that good, Paula?
Gave a thumbs
Oh,
up.
a thumbs up. There
Thumbs
you go.
up.
Excellent.
I'm trying
All
to use my. I'm trying to use my reactions.
I love it,
I love
Paula.
my reactions.
Fantastic. All right, Yolanda, you're up next.
Good morning. I'm glad to be here. At the beginning of the presentation, I had to reorient myself. However, I'm sitting in my classroom right now, and one of the in my college and career readiness classroom. So emotional intelligence is definitely something that we discuss on a pretty frequent basis. My question to you is, what is your target audience? I know you talking about it being in organizations and working with people in organizations. Have you considered a program like this? Because we definitely talk about it, and when you just mentioned self-awareness, but in the education arena, in these organizations that are training individuals to go out into the workplace, have you considered presenting EQMatch in that capacity?
Thank you, Yolanda. Let me try to address this question, and please correct me if I didn't understand your question correctly. Let me rephrase that and help me understand a little bit better. Are you asking whether we are already doing EQ as a training and not just for the recruiting? Is that your question?
Yeah, you can say that, yes. And what audiences are you using? Yes.
So we have 2 models of our solution at EQMatch. The one is catered towards recruiting. As I mentioned, when Shane asked this question, this is primarily for human resource people who want to recruit and use emotional intelligence as a means of assessing those candidates. The second solution that we have is for existing employees, what we call as team building and emotional intelligence building. And this would be catered towards employees in larger organization, enterprises. We even want to help SMEs and smaller businesses. We're not against that at all. But those 2 solutions already are in place. So we are fully ready to be able to deliver and deploy those solutions at scale at enterprises and SMEs. So recruiting as well as emotional intelligence building or emotional intelligence training. Hope that answers your question, Yolanda.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Shah, I had a question for you. This is Andy. a really good presentation. I enjoyed it a lot. These are really more aesthetic suggestions, not so much about the business itself, but when you're presenting, and I know I could tell you've presented a lot and you're really good at it. One thing I would suggest that you consider integrating into your presentation is a case example of an actual person that you screened. You don't have to be a real person's name, but a person you screened, and what the outcome and result of that was. One of the challenges you face is, while most people here know what EQ is and are familiar with it, some people might not really understand. Even employers, might not fully know what is emotional intelligence, what's the value of it. So you have to kind of gauge, like, the language you're using in terms of explaining it, just as a suggestion. But I think a case example would really help a lot, and that was really just a suggestion I had for you.
No, thank you very much, Andy. I think it's a useful suggestion. We will definitely incorporate that into our presentation. We do have a demo on our site when we talk to people who are interested in emotional intelligence, and we walk them through the solution, how the solution actually works, how the results are displayed, and all that. That is already in place, but I think it makes sense to incorporate that into a presentation like this. Thank you very much, Andy.
Yeah, Miranda, I see your hand is up again.
Yes, I just took some time to look at your website, and I noticed, sorry, I was getting feedback. The website shows pricing, 3 different pricing models. I think that's great. A couple of things that we have learned from other presenters that I think may help you is, I know that you're looking for clients right now. You don't have any. So I think that if you put something on there that said now through the end of summer, or until we reach, this many clients or this many assessments, that way you're opening it up. So whatever level they come in at, they're getting a certain amount of assessments at no charge to get them to come in. And then if you created at that higher level, the premium level, perhaps you create an online community where they can communicate and talk about things that you will then be able to observe and be able to pick for silver bullets or linings that you might find. They might not disclose to you, but they will disclose to other users. I know that Salesforce is really good at this. They have a great community where all of their clients can go on and ask questions and help each other out, and you'll have access to all that information. So those would be a couple considerations.
Well, that's great input, Miranda. And I think I personally believe in community building. Salesforce is a great example. I think they have even a page for that, more like a forum where customers chat among each other, and that gives more a sense of community instead of just being a sales-oriented platform. Thank you for suggesting that. We would definitely incorporate that in our marketing strategy.
Yeah, you definitely only want to do it in either the top tier or the top 2 tiers to give people a reason to up level.
Yeah, and one more thing that I would like to add here is you talked about giving free assessments or anything of those sorts. Well, we have a beta program that we have just launched, and this is for companies or enterprises that want to understand assessment. We are giving them at a highly discounted rate, or we are going to even give them for free for some time, so they can get their get a little bit feeling or an inkling of the emotional intelligence solution itself.
All right, I beat Paula to the punch with my hand up, but I'm going to defer to Paula because out of courtesy, we should always let our guests and not our committee members ask questions. So you're up next, Paula.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Andy. I also wanted to share with you about solutions. I heard Andy mention, evidence-based. If you can have some testimonials, even if they are not your client currently, some testimonials from how did this affect them and how do they look different before they got to you. It could be someone that you've worked with in the past. Is very helpful for the website. So I haven't really looked at your website, but I will do that. But really testimonials, outcomes really helps a lot why people today want to utilize certain services. They want to know what is it in for them, how they're going to change. And I think that would be helpful testimonials as well. So I just wanted to share that with you because I am also a SCORE mentor for businesses as well. So I wanted to plug SCORE, hands up to SCORE, but I wanted to come on. I'm in the Tampa chapter, and I just wanted to make sure that those testimonials are very, very helpful for the clients you might have worked with. It doesn't have to be many, but just something of how evidence-based it's helped them. I just wanted to share that as well.
Thank you, Paula, for that amazing advice. We definitely believe in testimonials, or what I call social proof. So we would definitely get some of the testimonials online. At the same time, on the website, we have a thing called emotional intelligence research paper. It's a 30 to 50 page document that outlines the extensive research that our PhDs did about the benefits of emotional intelligence with real data, with real proof, and all these and all the references are there. It's a 30 to 60 page document. Please take a look at that whenever you get time. It's free to download. Just have to put your email. It's a gated thing, but it would give some idea. So I think we are trying to also put that into our marketing so people can understand there is really scientific proof behind us.
Shah, I just had a quick question for you. This is Andy again. It looks to me from what you've explained that you kind of have a two-sided business model. You've got, people seeking jobs that want to kind of get a good fit in the right organization. And then you have employers that, want to reduce turnover and retain their employees. What is your strategy for acquiring both of those sides of the market, and what's the cost that's attached to that?
Andy, as of now, we are focusing on the latter, which is on the employer side. We do have a non-enterprise customers, which is towards people who are looking for jobs, but we feel that the value to get started is going to come from human resource people itself, because they are the one posting out jobs, and they kind of have more emphasis on that. So that's our business model. If you're talking about cost, are you talking about the pricing itself, or are you talking about the overall business cost?
How are you getting employers to become aware of EQMatch so they become customers?
So as of today, we are doing a couple of things. One is we are doing marketing automation through email marketing. We have a database of around 3,000 targeted audience that we are engaging and nurturing using informational content. We are not selling anything yet through the emails. We are informing them about our educational content. Some of them are the blog and the articles that we are posting. Some of them are white papers. We are also offering free resources, such as we have an HR KPI dashboard on the website. So a human resource person can download that. It's free to use. They can plug and play with those documents. So those are the things, the freebies that we are offering. And then we are nurturing those leads and pushing them down the funnel. That's the purpose behind email marketing automation. The second thing we are doing is actively using social media marketing. We felt that a lot of our target audience spend time on LinkedIn. So we have a LinkedIn-centric marketing strategy today. We are posting every single day there. We're posting good, unique content that's very branded and very EQMatch oriented. So those are the two key areas that we are doing. We recently were talking to some salespeople to also do outbound calls or cold calling, if you will, but we haven't had any kind of traction that day. We were not able to actually start that in the first place. So that's something that we are also trying to achieve. Hope that answers.
It does. Thank you so much. Let's give Shah a big round of applause there. That was fantastic.